Hey, what's up there, Global Nobles? How's it going there, YouTube Nation? Well, there is a lot of stuff that's actually going on with Google, and it's quite scary. I mean, Google is just this big corporation that's basically in your life. It's running through your bloodstream right now as you're watching this video. Scary, huh? Well, it seems that Google is actually going under some real scary nightmares all this week with the European Union with some antitrust laws in which really, I don't know, but I guess the European Union likes to put antitrust laws in companies. I mean, we've seen it before with Microsoft and their Windows, their Internet Explorer, but it seems that now that Microsoft is really out clear from the little problems that it did once have, it seems that now they moved on to Google. And really, I don't know, I guess you can say that it did catch their eye when it comes to its open source. Now, Android is really why the European Union wants to go ahead and look into Google. Now, when I say this is because Android is really much open source, but when you come to the big phone maker companies like HTC, Samsung, and all this other good stuff, it's really down to just Google. I mean, Google provides its fullware of its Android device, and that's really untouchable. You can't really modify certain things on it unless Google really gives you the okay to go ahead and do that. But there are other types of Androids that really you can go ahead and modify. Amazon is basically the leader of modifying its Android device, coming with Cynoagen in number 2, and then you got other companies like Samsung and Xiaomi and all these other companies. They just modify Android. So it doesn't seem that the European Union is actually worried about the open source, but it actually wants to look into the full source of the Android's operating system, meaning whether if companies were given the option to say, I don't want to install Chrome on my device, but I will install Google Play, Google Store. There are other YouTube, that's basically a necessity, right? I mean, what's a phone without YouTube, especially with Android? But aside from all that, that's what the European Union wants to look at. It wants to look at the fact that whether these companies were given the option, free will, to install these softwares, or were they given a direct order and say, no, you know what, since this is our full proprietary operating system, and we might as well just have Chrome there for people to have to use. But this is aside from one of its nightmares. It's another thing is that Microsoft currently signed a planned deal with Cyanogen Incorporated to have Microsoft products installed on the Cyanogen mods. So this is pretty much great when it comes to Microsoft, because Microsoft really fell off the mobile market. It actually only reached 3% of the mobile market last year. And to be honest, nobody really uses a Windows phone. I mean, even HTC decided to say, hey, you know what, Microsoft, we feel sorry for you. We'll go ahead and make an M8 with Windows. I don't know what it is. Did they have Windows 7 or Windows 8? I don't know. But anyways, really, we haven't really seen Windows Phone really pop. I mean, to my knowledge, the last time I actually had a Windows Phone was when Nextel was around. And I don't know if you guys know, but the famous i930 was my favorite phone, and it contained Windows Mobile 5 on it. Now, when Windows Mobile 6 came out, a lot of people rooted their phone, and a lot of people actually damaged their i930s and their i925s, which is also like the equivalent of the i930, but it was more of a cheaper model. But again, a lot of people decided, hey, we love the Windows Phone, we like the device, we like the whole thing, the setup, that we'll go ahead and root our phones and go ahead and put Windows 6. It was glitchy, it was buggy, and especially the fact that the i930 and the i925 were really not compatible with Windows 6, that a lot of people just said, you know what, we'll just toss these phones, and that's basically it for Windows phones. So it's basically a cool idea that Microsoft actually got to these companies and decided, hey man, if you guys will support us, have your users have the free will of choice whether or not they would want to have the OneDrive or they want to have Office 365, all these other proprietary things that Microsoft does, make and support for Android. It's basically a step forward for Windows comeback when it comes to the mobile market. Now, it seems that Cynoagen has been quite so amped on this deal that a lot of people are taking the misconception that Microsoft is going to be taking Android away from Google, or that Google, something of the sort. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of speculations. There's a whole bunch of things that have been put out on the net recently about this. But I don't see Microsoft ever touching Google when it comes to this, because from what I know, Google Android's operating system is actually 73% of the mobile market now. I mean, there's a whole bunch of phones that Google has helped for these makers to put their operating system on it, and a lot of people have actually went from iPhones to Android devices, being that they were able to freely do whatever they want when it comes to modding, creating apps, and putting stuff out there that a lot of people use. With the Apple's operating system is more closed, and it's really, really strict, that you really can't do anything other than just play with your phone, take selfies, and video chat. I mean, what really do you need that for when you got Skype? And I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. But this doesn't really just go on to the way that Microsoft is going to be taking over Google and saying, you know what, we'll rip Android away from you. But it's kind of the plan that Cyanogen Incorporated actually wants to do. It seems that Cyanogen is actually dedicated itself for the next 18 months to try to rip Android away from Google, meaning that they don't want that this money mogul gets all the fun out of it. So they actually will try to make an operating system that's fully off Google's payroll list, I guess. I don't know how this is going to work, but this is mostly what I see happening when it comes to Android not being a part of Google anymore. But this is also the issue where now Google is facing so many issues with its open source. Most of it is to, why do you even keep it open source when a whole bunch of these other companies is just going to take it away from you? I mean, Amazon is one of the pretty clear facts that they were successful into removing anything that had to do with Google when it comes to Android's device, meaning the Fire X Pro, or I don't know what the heck, the Amazon Fire, is all I gotta say, is the only phone that's actually out there right now that has nothing to do with Google. It's actually everything it's actually everything Amazon. So it's pretty cool, and I can't really, see Microsoft topping off Google. I mean, that's right now not happening. So a lot of these people are getting the misconception that, yeah, Microsoft's comeback is going to be with Cyanogen. Yes, I do see that. I actually can see that Microsoft will come back into the mobile market very strong, because a lot of people are going to be getting Windows 10 pretty soon. And a lot of the applications that comes on Windows 10 is going to be mostly integrated with the stuff that's out there now, the Xbox One, your mobile phone. And if you have a Windows phone right now, it's even going to be better, because Windows 10 has to go ahead and fully sync with your mobile phone in order for you to do whatever it is you want to do on your PC and stuff like that. But this is not really an issue, but again, Google is actually facing a lot of scrutiny, but I don't see Google getting hurt from any of this. A lot of people think that, yeah, Google might see a little hurt, a little pinch, and stuff like that. They might lose money when it comes to this antitrust lawsuit or whatever it is. They might have to pay a big, hefty fine because, yeah, Google does collect your data. Even right now, as you speak, whatever advertisement is popping up down here is because of something that you actually saw on the net somewhere else. Could be on Facebook, it could be on Craigslist, it could be anywhere really. Any website you go to, Google will know that information where you went to. Even if you use the Chrome, Google will actually automatically collect or sniff advertisement data and will try to spit some generic version or probably the same exact item that you saw before, but on a cheaper deal. And it's not really an issue. I mean, I don't know. To some people, yes, it may seem like, hey, man, if I want to look at a box of condoms and I'm like a little bit consciousness that's above my size, I don't want Google to know this. But anyways, Google already does. So when it comes to this situation, yes, the mobile market does want a little bit more privacy, and they do want to actually rid itself from all that stuff by just saying, you know what, Google, we're tired of you collecting our data and we're just not liking it. So just like how you left Android's open source out there for us, just in case, like how you said, if we don't like your operating system, the open source is there for you to take, remodify it, and make your own operating system. And that's where a lot of people are taking this advantage. Sorry, acid reflux. But again, I don't see Google really getting hurt from all this. Maybe me from this acid reflux and me trying to explain this. But again, it's not really much of an issue. I don't really see where all this hype is going around. This misconception that Microsoft is going to be taking Android away from Google. I actually can see Cynoagen doing that, but I don't see Microsoft ever doing that. Amazon already did that. So there are other companies that will try to take advantage of this, and believe me, if Google doesn't make a stop to it by putting an actual proprietary license on this, then yeah, I don't see Android really becoming more than some paperweight that your phone now has. So again, if you guys want to take a look at all these articles, you guys should click all of the links down below. I will be posting a whole bunch of these articles because it's really much of an interesting news when it comes to your mobile device. I mean, right now, your mobile device could be Android, it could be iOS, but still, 73% of you out there in the global nation are using Android. So again, this is very important to me because I have an HTC. I'm recording on my HTC One, and that's fully Android. That's actually fully Google. I mean, they are partners with HTC is partners with Google. So yes, my version of the Google Android's device is actually a full version. So. And there's a lot of people that may say, hey, what is this full version forked and what is all this? Trust me, I was confused myself. There's something that's called ASOP forked, and there's something that's called the full version of the Android, in which my phone already has. But again, it confused the crap out of me. I hope it don't confuse you. But again, all these articles are going to be down below. I really don't consider you to really believe that Microsoft is going to be ripping Google's Android device apart and saying, yeah, that's going to be ours pretty soon. That's pretty much hype news that really one should look at if you have Google's stock and say, well, yeah, might as well sell Google stock and buy some Microsoft because I do see Microsoft becoming something big. I don't know, but that's not really my my thing for you. That's not my market advice, so trust me, don't take my word for it. But again, all these news and articles will be down below. Do check them out. And as well, do catch me on Twitch if you guys haven't already. There's going to be a link down below where I am live right now, but I'm taking a break just so I can get onto some tech news. But again, thank you guys all for watching. Do rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Do you actually believe that Microsoft is really going to take over Google? Gotcha. See ya.